Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about what expats have in common over here. And one of the things I noticed the other day, and I also, Justin was talking about this with me. Justin's the guy that lives near me in the same building as me, and he has videos that he puts up on this channel also, for you guys that don't know. And we were talking the other day, and about our family members, how Justin has, I think it was his grandfather was over here, and his ship was sunk off of Ormoc, and my dad's ship was sunk off of Ormoc. He was on the USS Ward, which was the first ship to fire in World War II, and it fired on a submarine outside of Pearl Harbor. Some of you guys know that fact because of the movie Tora, Tora, Tora. That was the USS Ward. It was sunk off of Ormoc, okay? And Justin was telling me that I believe it was his grandfather was over here, and either his grandfather or his father, I believe it was his grandfather was over here, and his grandfather's ship sunk off of Ormoc. And I also had another guy here, this is a while back, about 3 years ago, that told me that his relative, I believe it was his father, was also on the USS Ward, which it makes for interesting topics, because a lot of us over here have like this tie where a lot of our relatives, or some of our relatives, fought over here during World War II, or were stationed over here after World War II, or what have you, or during the Vietnam War, or whatever. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. It's a connection that we have as expats over here. It kind of tightens up our closeness, and it's something that unifies us sometimes. And, a lot of expats over here that are veterans, some of us are not really that close. You think sometimes that veterans are always tight and close, and that's just not factual sometimes, I think. A lot of veterans are not as close as we think sometimes. Some of us are, some of us are not. Just like in the military, when you were in the military, there was people in that you got along with, and there was people that you didn't get along with. You just tried to work together and work it out, and there was still people that you fought with, or, the usual dickheads that you run into in the military. Just like in the military, you run into those usual people also outside of the military that are veterans that have come here also, and unfortunately that's part of life. They're everywhere, but one of the things I notice over here is that when you make some friends over here, it takes like 6 months to a year to really get to know those people and to love those people, and really give it 6 months before you start trusting people, at least maybe even a year, because you never know what's going to happen. Be careful on those friendships. Some people rush into friendships a lot faster than others, and they have that trust. They start getting that trust factor where they start trusting people right away. Don't. The Philippines is kind of known for a lot of debauchery among friends and with friendships and stuff like that. If an expat over here makes enemies with you, they seem to have to keep it going, where some people just would rather walk away and just leave it alone, just move on. Some of these people will keep on hammering you with that, and I've learned that throughout my life that you're going to run into people like that everywhere. And over here, there seems to kind of be a little bit more of them sometimes. And most of the friends I make over here are pretty decent. I would say like 90% of them. It's like that 10% that you run into that you have a problem with, and you are going to hit those people once in a while, and just be careful. We talk about that on the channel quite often. But, just because they're a veteran, don't think that, you're going to be tight like this here just because they're a veteran. Nothing could be more false than that fact. I find that if a friend is a friend, whether they're a veteran or not, I would say just because they're a veteran doesn't make me want to become more friendly with them, because I find I might have the same differences with them. Yeah, we have that common bond of being veterans, but is it something that's going to tie us through and tie us over as veterans? One thing I noticed the other day was this. A vlogger helped me out. He reached out a hand to me and gave me some information. And I was very blessed by the information. Now, I don't know if he was in the military or not. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. And he did something for me that I was very thankful for. And it was I'm not going to mention his name, because it would give away some information that I would rather not give away. And I'll just say this, that he knows who he is, and it was two people, actually, and both of them I'm thankful for getting in touch with me, both of those vloggers, and I'm very thankful for that, because what they tipped me off to was something that I'm very grateful for, because it stopped a lot of aggravation, and it could have caused me a lot of grief. And as vloggers, we got to kind of stick together. We have our dickhead vloggers out there, of course, that do cause a lot of problems. And I've gotten my share of grief from some of those people, but I really don't care. They don't matter. They say a lot of things about me. Most of it's untrue. I could care less. You just got to, brush them off your shoulder and keep on moving. And sometimes it can be difficult, because if you are going through something and some of these people start jumping on you, it just makes your life more difficult. And you got to kind of have your head tied on right, that I'm just not going to let that bother me. And some of these people, they definitely pass out that false information on you, and it's just a bunch of baloney because it's not even true. But I find now that a lot of the vloggers are starting to pull together a little bit more outside of Dumageddon. Now, Dumageddon, they've got some great people down there too, so don't get me wrong. I don't want to say everybody in Dumageddon is the same. They call it Dramageddon or whatever you want to call it. But I do want to say this, that I got to give people the benefit of the doubt that, most people are decent out there. And I truly believe that. But there are a few people out there you have to kind of watch out for. You got to watch your back. You'll be pulling knives out of your back all the time. And I see a change here a little bit in the vlogging community. A lot of people are saying, I don't want to have that reputation that the other vloggers do. Yeah, sometimes there's people out there that cover a lot of drama out there, or they cover subjects that, some of us don't like. And I try to cover the easier subjects to cover. And I try to cover subjects in a way that I can share my thoughts on it. And people have the right to disagree, and we all have the right to disagree or agree to disagree, you know what I mean? And I think that, we have to be fair with each other and say, let's agree to disagree, It doesn't mean I hate you. And as Americans, we've talked about this before, is that as Americans, if we disagree on something, it seems like we hate that person. You know what I mean? We have like a hatred towards that person because we disagree on a couple of facts or something it might be politics or something like that. And I don't agree with that. I rather agree to disagree and still be friends. And a lot of my friends, even though they're on a different side, different political party or whatever, when we talk friendly about things, and we try to stay off certain subjects, and we want to keep it light. And over here, where you're retired, you don't want to fight with your friends, and I noticed that, I think things are changing over here in that way. A lot of people over here are starting to learn that, but when we get newbies over here, they don't understand the way things work over here, and that we're trying to not bring things over here from back there. And it takes about 3 or 4 years to get that out of you, that mentality. It took me about 2 to 3 years to get that out of me, to stop thinking about stuff back there as much, and focus more on my life here, and I love it here, and I still love it back in the US. I still love some American culture, but I will say this here is that, this is my home now. Will I stay here forever? I'm not sure, That's my hope. It's my goal. Are there things that might change it? Sure there are. There always is. But right now, as I see it, I don't see that happening. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And remember, when you're over here, leave that stuff back home. All that political stuff. Following the news as much as you do. It's great to follow the news, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Don't put it in the front of your mind and make it take over your head and take up space in your head. God bless, guys. Take care.